I'm in quarantine, yeah, but that still don't mean anything. I gave you more of me. On the west side, bitchin' like this for me. I ain't sweating nothing, holy water.
Hello! I'm glad that you can join me. I hate that I can't see you in person, but with everything that's going on right now, you get to join me in the convenience of my living room. And this is just how it's going to be right now. So while we are all in our homes, if you saw the hashtag house arrest, we're going to be talking about rest tonight. This is something that I had actually planned to talk about before all of this started happening with the coronavirus. And I had thought, like, oh, we don't need to talk about this. Everybody's already resting, like when everything started happening. And then the Lord just kind of put it on my heart, like, no, you still need to talk about this. Everybody is still going through, some people are working still and like they're in the healthcare profession and they're working like crazy. Or you're working from home and it's still super busy. Or some people like teachers, they're not currently working and it's kind of up in the air to when you will go back to work. So it was just very much on my heart, even more so now than it was before, to just talk about this. So we're going to talk about rest tonight. I feel like a YouTube person being like, subscribe to my channel, but don't do that. I don't have a channel. But this is weird. I'm not used to doing anything like this, so bear with me. On this day 9047 of quarantine. So with that being said, like all of whatever work situation you're in right now, I said I feel like mine is kind of in the middle of all of that because I am currently still working. I work at a women's treatment center for eating disorders. So they gave us like a memo to put in our car, like, this person is mandated to go to work. And like in case like I get pulled over for being out or whatever, like they have to let me go to work. So fun stuff. And but they have us on 3 days a week for 12 hours, like 12-hour shifts. So my week is either like jam-packed with work, or I have like 4 days of not doing anything, where that normally would be like stuff for Sundays or for Highlands College, and Highlands College is online right now. So if you're working from home, like, I feel like I can kind of relate to all of you and all of your work situations right now. So we are gonna get started with this. I came up with a little acronym to help in remembering this. So R is for routine. Maybe, you need to change your routine up because it looks a little different with whatever you're doing right now. Maybe you don't have one and you need to create one. But find something that really works for you and that allows you to be able to really connect with God and spend time with Him during all of this, but also still be productive in what you have to get done. Routines are very helpful in creating some normalcy, especially during this time where everything seems so crazy. So if you're currently not working, a routine will help from falling into the isolation or depression from feeling like you don't have anything to do. And if you are working, like just changing it up to where it's something that works for you, to where you don't feel really overwhelmed and don't get caught up in everything that you have to do, and that you still have time to spend with God and everything. So, still set an alarm, like wake up, maybe sleep in a little bit from what maybe like you're used to doing, but still set an alarm and wake up and get started on your day. Spend time with the Lord. Don't neglect that. Maybe make breakfast, maybe go for a walk, or get a workout in, do something that's going to, really help you. Like put it all in your schedule. Spend an hour or two or, whatever, checking in with your friends and family, do something that works for you, but like write it down and put it in your planner and make sure that you're doing something that like, this is what I have to do today. This is what I'm going to accomplish and get done today. And it's just so helpful for me to see like, oh, this is what I'm going to get done today and feel like I've accomplished something by the end of the day. So Psalm 1:2 says, "But whose delight is in the law of the Lord, and who meditates on his law day and night." So really rest in your routine because it yields fruit, So then E is enjoy time with God without an agenda. So we all have time right now. So make this part of your routine. Really invest in your relationship and getting to know him for no other reason than to get to know him. Because we have time. And without any distractions. That's such a blessing that we have right now. Is to be able to spend that time with him without distractions. And, find a new place. Like, if you're used to doing it in your living room, like, go outside. Don't let the pollen get you. Like, stay a safe distance away from people. But, like, change that up. And just really, like, do something that, if you've been in a rut, like, to help you. So, I know, like, I was a religion major in college, so sometimes I really struggle with this because we would have to, like, pick apart a verse and look at the context of it and, look at the original translation of Greek and Hebrew and see how that relates to what the translation that we're looking at, how it differs, why it was translated that way, and write like 10-page papers on one verse. So, I have to really be intentional in my time with the Lord to not make it feel like homework, for me. So, I like to journal. I like to spend time in worship. You can do those. You can do a Bible study. You can just read, a book or a chapter. You can just sit and spend time in his presence and really try to hear from him. I know that journaling is where I hear the most from the Lord. So just do, what works for you. Find what works for you because we have time right now. And really don't run away. Don't keep creating things for you to do. Like really schedule this in your day so that you're not thinking about the next thing. Really don't neglect this because some people I've talked to have just tried to just jam-pack their schedule so that they feel like they're doing things and that they don't just sit. But sometimes that's what we need to do to be able to hear from the Lord. What better time do we have than the Lord's trying to get our attention right now, to really speak to us. So we're finally in a place where he can do that. So enjoy time with God without an agenda. And rest for the Lord. James 4:8 says, "Draw near to God and he will draw near to you." So just, the closer that you get to him, the more he's going to get close to you and really reveal things to you. And so that's just a really, really important one. S is stop what you're doing because sometimes, honestly, you just need a nap. You just need to sit still, especially those of you who are working in healthcare, like nurses, and any of you who work in different parts of the hospital. You're probably so busy right now. And when you do have time, just take a minute and sit, like, take a nap. Like we've already talked about that. It's so important. That's something that's really hard for me. Like I said, like our society says that, you know, you might not be valuable or successful or productive if you're not doing something. So, especially with our generation, like sometimes we're even seen as lazy if we're not, you know, if we don't have 5,000 things going on at once. I mean, my Apple Watch will tell me, like, you need to get up and move. You're not as active as you were yesterday. And I want to, like, throw it out the window, like, shut up. Sometimes I'm going to take this day and rest. Thank you. But like, it's okay to sit still. And if nobody's told you that recently, it's okay to sit still. Listen to your body and know when you need an extended period of rest. And maybe like that's what you need to do right now is like take that time and rest. Because I know in college I went and my body literally shut down. And so don't get to that point because it's expensive to get to that point, like going to the doctors and stuff, because your body just can't handle how much you're going. So don't let it get to that point. So this is really where Sabbath comes into play. So it's more than a day off. Like really set aside a day, because like it's so important. Sabbath is a word and a day that you should associate with delight. Like find something that you enjoy doing. Like I know some people enjoy cooking and enjoy food. Like enjoy that. Some people enjoy working out. Like go for a walk, do your workout. Some people enjoy reading. Like spend the day reading. Don't waste your Sabbath. Really just rest in it. Don't just like, I mean, you can like waste time. Like just don't waste it by jam-packing it with stuff, you know, really delight in what you're doing and like take that time to rest. So the goal isn't to do more, it's to be more effective. And if you don't give your body time to recharge and refuel, you're not going to be effective and you're not going to be a blessing to others in the other 6 days. So really take that day. Like God took that day. He took a day to rest and delighted in what he created. So like really learn from him, take what he did to heart and like really, you know, model that. So Isaiah 58:13-14 says, if you turn back your foot from the Sabbath, from doing your pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, and the holy day of the Lord honorable, then you shall take delight in the Lord, and I will make you ride on the heights of the east. I will feed you with the heritage of Jacob, your father. So really, just rest in your Sabbath. And T, finally, is trust in God. So give up worrying. Like sometimes when we're sitting still, we can, like the enemy can get in our mind and our thoughts and just like really make us worry. And that's something that we really shouldn't do. Live by grace through faith. It's the antidote to a life that's never satisfied. So when we're going and going and going and we feel like we have to go and go and go, trusting in God and just letting him take control is the antidote to that. And it's what can really help us. So, while you're working or while you're not working or you're working from home and it looks really different, God has called you to do something important. Like what you're doing is not a waste. Like that's what the Lord has called you to do, and make sure you know that it's important. So don't let the enemy make you feel like that's not the case during all of this, no matter what your work situation looks like or, you know, anything that you may be going through right now, like, don't let the enemy tell you that what you're doing is not important, because it is. And if you feel overwhelmed and like you can't get everything done, especially when we start to go back to things looking normal, it can feel overwhelming and like you can't get everything done that you need to get done. But because God has called you to do it, get what you can get done, and let him take care of the rest, because he hasn't called you to do something that you can't handle or that's, not important. Like, he's going to take care of everything. So just rest in that and like trust in him. So no matter what your situation is right now, once you've done all of the other things that we've talked about, creating a routine, enjoying spending time with him, and taking time for the Sabbath and just to sit still, trust that everything that's supposed to happen is gonna get done. And don't spend time worrying about it. Because like I said, that's when you're going to be effective and like when you're going to be a blessing. Don't try to do more than what God has called you to do. And that's something that I really have to, like, that's to me. Because especially like with Highlands College and being so busy on Sundays and like doing so much for the church on days that I'm off, like in ministry, like a lot, we can really feel like we have so much to do, and we don't want to get to the point of burnout to where we're not being a blessing to other people. So Proverbs 3:5-6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make straight your paths." So rest in your work, not from your work, because God has called you to it, and he's going to help you through it. That may have been cheesy, but it's true. And so I want to wrap all of this up with the verse Matthew 11:28. "Come to me, all who are weary, and I will give you rest."
Change the medication, now I got the antidote. Plan on what it growing to